Hi, I'm Ryan Shelton with Twisted Pair Media. We're based in Nashville, Tennessee. I'm one of the owners. My business partner, Wes, and I started the company almost 22 years ago, and we are a high end integration company. We focus on low voltage work for primarily high end residences here in the Middle Tennessee area, although our work does sometimes take us outside of the state. The vast majority of our work is here in and around Middle Tennessee. I would say that before EOS, I mean, we would have considered ourselves successful, but we were just kind of, fly by night operation. We didn't have processes. We made a lot of promises to our team that probably never came to fruition. And we as owners didn't think too much about it, but I'm sure the team was like, hey, you mentioned this and we never did anything about it. So I would say that it was there were probably a lot of unfulfilled promises. We didn't have any real direction. We just sort of did the day to day. We did a good job. I think we did a good job at least, but there was no real vision. And if there was, it was within my brain and Wes's brain. It wasn't conveyed to the team. So we just kind of had people showing up, doing their job, and going home with no real purpose or no real direction. So it was pretty chaotic. It didn't seem too chaotic, but based on where we are now versus where we are then, it's pretty easy to see a stark difference in the day to day of just the direction of the company and having everybody on board and knowing where we're trying to go. EOS has been a game changer for our company. Like I mentioned in the last question, things didn't feel chaotic, but comparatively, they probably were. It's just been great to have regular check-ins with our team, have an accountability chart where people know where they stand and where they are, and have the ability to look at it and say, oh, maybe I can move into that role eventually if I hone in my skills, and being able to set rocks with the guys. I mean, I think that's been a great tool for us. Having the guys say, I'd like to try to grow in this area this quarter, and having us lean into that, having them lean into that has been super impactful. Level 10 meetings are great. That's something that we are pretty religious about every week. They're great for our leadership team as a check-in. I know personally I'm most likely to miss due to travel, and when I miss it, I feel like I've really missed something significant, and always try to check in and find out, hey, what I missed, read through the notes that get taken. Just keeping everybody on the same page with a constant check-in so that nothing falls through the cracks. I can't speak enough about that, how it's impacted our business, and just to hear our team talk about, have the language of, hey, when's our quarterly, when's your quarterly pulsing, when's our quarterly check-in, when's our state of the company, how's my rock doing, or it's just cool to hear the language of EOS, going around the company, and then hearing people shout other people out on core values like, hey, you did a great job being a team player, thanks for doing this. It's been really, really encouraging. So there were some hard decisions along the way about people, but now we feel like we've got a really good team on board, people that are bought in, and it's really exciting to see. And we're seeing the growth of our company, we're seeing the growth of our team, and I think we owe the vast majority of that to EOS. Working with an implementer helped us stay on track. It was going to be way too easy to sweep this under the rug and not give it the attention it deserves. So we chose to work with an implementer because it held us financially accountable, given that it's not inexpensive, but it also gave us a point to leave the office and a schedule, and Justin held us accountable. Working with Justin was phenomenal. He became a friend and a confidant, and celebrated our wins with us and commiserated with us when we felt like we had lost or had to let a team member go. But it was a phenomenal experience. We miss going and seeing him every quarter, but he gave us the tools that we needed to go out on our own. And we're about to complete our first year on our own. We'll have our annual 2-day coming up here in a couple of weeks, and it's been really good so far. And he still checks in on us, and I can't say enough about working with Justin. He gets it, and he became a great friend, and we owe a ton of our success and a ton of our growth to Justin and what he brought us with the EOS methods and tools. And so if you're considering working with an implementer, definitely do it. If you have the option to work with Justin, we can't say enough good things about him. So that would be our recommendation, hands down.